This is Play NHL, a presentation of the Sports Crafters, airing on BOA.TV, and is an EA Sports NHL 15 simulation of what could happen in today's featured game of the National Hockey League.
If it's Saturday night, that means it's hockey night in the NHL. I am Eric Munter, Sports Crafter for EA Sports NHL 15. Join me for tonight's featured game of the National Hockey League. From the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, where I, Eric Munter, will be playing as the host Maple Leafs against the Chicago Blackhawks in a battle between these two original six franchises. Tyler Bozak has it now for Toronto as he breaks in, looks across, it's Kessel. Kessel looks for a man open in front! And Bozak had that slip under his stick. Chasing in after it are the Leafs, trying to get his cycle play going. Back to the point, here's Dion Phaneuf shooting! Blocked out high. Here's Sharp. Sharp works it to Marian Hossa. Hossa moving in on Phaneuf. Phaneuf gives him a shove. Leafs have the puck. Work it out. It's James Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk is hit. Gets the puck back. Still looks to break out for the Leafs. And it's still held in. Chicago. Now the Toronto Maple Leafs break it out. Down the ice goes the puck. And the Leafs are in after it on Duncan Keith. Keith circles away from an on-checking Maple Leaf. Nearly turned over, but Seabrook gets it. Now Patrick Sharp to the Chicago Blackhawks, around center ice, looks, and gains entry into Toronto's end. And Bernier makes his first save of the night there on a long shot. Lupul sending in behind the net of Crawford. Hjalmarsson gets that puck away from the Leaf. Now Sharp leads Richards. Brad Richards, the former Ranger, bought out over the summer and signed a one-year, $1 million contract with this very Blackhawk team. Low risk, high reward possible scenario for Chicago. All the way back to the point, but not held in, so it's dumped back in, delayed offsides as the Blackhawks clear. Now David Clarkson. Clarkson, the former Devil, moving into the zone. Shot by him is off the blocker of Crawford. Puck behind the net, Hjalmarsson works it to Shaw. Shaw to Richards to Kane now. Kane with David Booth guarding. Drops to Brad Richards. Richards looks to center, broken up by David Booth. Booth gets, sends over to Clarkson. Finally broken out, and across back to David Booth. Booth is into the zone. Dishes off to Phaneuf, who shoots and scores! Dion Phaneuf, with 9.6 to go in the first, stakes Toronto to a 1-0 lead. David Booth and Daniel Winnick assist on Phaneuf's goal, a blast from the point that simply beat Crawford high to the blocker's side. And as time is winding down, saved by Bernier, the Leafs will take their 1-0 lead into the first intermission. The shot totals were low in the first, 2-2, and Toronto got the period's and thus far the game's only goal. It came off the stick of the captain, Dion Phaneuf. Speaking of which, has the puck down low, kicks it along to Boland. Pardon me, I believe that's Pollock. Now it's Brodziak. Over to James Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk holds and waits. Finds a lane, takes a shot, it's fended off by Crawford. Duncan Keith leads Sharp. Sharp makes a move at center, sends to Captain Jonathan Toews. Taken by the Leafs, who dump from behind their own net and look to break out, and now they do. Phil Kessel, 3-on-2 for Toronto. Drops it to Van Riemsdyk, who drops to Phaneuf, who shoots! And a broken stick results in a break for the Blackhawks. Into the zone, it's Sharp. Patrick Sharp peels off, centers it high, and guarding Toews was Van Riemsdyk. Kessel now up the right wing into Chicago's end. Kessel shoots, and Crawford made the save and holds on for the whistle. Nearing the midway point of the second period and hockey game, here in Toronto, the faceoff to the left of Crawford is won by the Blackhawks. Nick Leddy turned it over, but Chris Versteeg was there to back up his mate, and it's now Kruger moving in. Kruger on the right wing, deliberately and slowly looking for his options. Out in front of play, towards the net, stopped. Robida was there, shoving the player in front. Now leads to Nazem Kadri. Kadri makes a move, it is in. Kadri shoots, and he lost possession of that puck. Oh, what a move by Kadri, but he never got the shot away. Now Versteeg takes and dumps in. Leafs have it. Broken out, nearly a bad pass out in front. Kadri sends it down the ice, and it will be icing on Toronto. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Face off to the right of the goaltender Bernier. Blackhawks win it, but the Leafs were the first to get to it. It's Clarkson.
Clarkson is in. Clarkson will shoot. Save. Rebound in the slot. Save by Crawford. 2 good saves there by Corey Crawford. Now Shaw beats a Leaf and is away on Jake Gardner. Across and over. Here's Kane with a shot save. Shaw the rebound. And he was hacking away at it, but couldn't get it to go. 50.6 to go in the second period. Leafs holding on to a 1-0 lead, which they got in the first. Daniel Winnick. Winnick, left side feed to David Booth. Booth tees one up and a good save there. Winnick goes to the wall, kicks it around behind, looking for Booth. Taken by Saad. And that will do it for 2. Toronto leads Chicago 1-0. 10 shots have been taken through 40 minutes of play, 6 in favor of the hometown Toronto Leafs, and 4 for the visiting Hawks. Toronto into the zone, shooting, and it's off the blocker of Crawford. Down low, looking, had a man open for a second, but a good defensive check there prevented any pass from ending up in front of the net. Hossa drops to Tays. Tays out in front for Sharp, and he ran out of room. Sharp looking for Tays again, but it was fended off. Now Bozak for Toronto. Feeds it over to Kessel, who shoots, and a save by Crawford. Duncan Keith to Marian Hossa. Hossa to Tays. Breaking in over the line. Jonathan Tays is hit. Halak. Now to Van Riemsdyk. Over to Kessel. Kessel is in. Kessel to Van Riemsdyk, and he couldn't get it to go. Keith with Kessel on him. Along the boards, battling. Finally taken away by Seabrook. Now it's Hossa. Hossa around the Leaf. Into their own end. Hossa out in front, a shot, and Bernier makes a save. He played it off to Polak. Played now to Nazem Kadri. Kadri in. Makes a move again. This time gets a shot and scores! Nazem Kadri! And it's 2-0 Toronto. Kadri with a spectacular effort. Polak and Bernier the goaltender assist. And Toronto has a little bit of insurance past the midway point of the third period on the Chicago Blackhawks. Back into the zone, the Leafs come, a shot and a save there by Crawford. Hjalmarsson to Shaw. Chicago needs a pair, and they need them quickly as the time is ticking down here in regulation. Shaw's hit, Hjalmarsson across, and fended off the blocker by Bernier was that shot. Around Kane, the pass, and it is the Leafs into the zone again. Feeds it, David Booth, cranks one and a save. Hjalmarsson jockeying for the rebound, got it, but it's held in by Franzen. Franzen, one-shot block, second shot save, and the rebound is in the slot, taken by Nicholas Hjalmarsson again. Hjalmarsson to Shaw, under a minute to go in regulation. Richards moves into the Toronto end, slowly looking for options, in front of pass. Guarded away from Kane was Booth. Feed out in front towards Sharp was stopped by Bernier, and he played it off to center, and the puck is dumped in all the way out to center ice near the Blackhawks bench. Toronto. Here's Riley. Riley with the puck, sending it in. 30 seconds and counting. Oduya behind his own cage works it to Tays. Jonathan Tays into Toronto's end, holds up and looks. Tays at that high slot. A feed to Keith. He hit the post. Out in front, a shot blocked. There's Hossa with a chance, and Bernier played it off. Leafs will work it out to center. Bozak to the empty net. He scores. 3-0 Toronto. Tyler Bozak into the empty net from Riley, and Jonathan Bernier again seals this one, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are gonna shut out the Chicago Blackhawks. Final score here from Toronto tonight, 3-0 Maple Leafs.
Thank you for joining me for today's featured game. Be sure to subscribe and comment to let me know who your favorite team is and what game you'd like to see. Also, don't forget to go out and get EA Sports NHL 15 for your gaming console. And of course, be sure to join me for another game at another time.
The proceeding has been brought to you by EA Sports NHL 15. Catch all new simulations of featured games from Play NHL on the Sports Crafters, airing on www.boa.tv.